Hello everyone. Hello there. So, it is currently 4 minutes before 6 in the evening on Monday, the 4th of November, 2024. So, as you can see, this is what this video looks like. But I have to just quickly tell you something about an incredible event that will happen just 6 hours after this video goes out, because on the East Coast at 7 in the morning Eastern Standard Time, elections will begin in the United States. So this very day will be incredibly significant for hundreds of millions of Americans. For a lot of people, it's their first time ever voting, but in other times, but when things go wrong, this could be the times where it will also be the last time people could ever vote. So this election will be coming down to 7 battleground states, namely Arizona, Georgia, Wisconsin, Michigan, North Carolina, and most important of all, Pennsylvania. Because in order to win the presidency, most of the time, or like 8 times out of 10, you have to win Pennsylvania in order to win the presidency. So as a Filipino who have actually experienced what could go wrong, that did go wrong in a presidential election, I'm here to tell the Americans that are living in those 7 battleground states to please not vote for Donald Trump. Us Filipinos here, not me, but my fellow Filipinos who are a lot older than me, did not make the right decision 2 years ago, back in May 2022, when more than half of the people who voted for President Bongbong Marcos Jr. Well, what happened? A lot of things, actually. The only thing that I can remember was that on his very first month in office, or actually in his very first 2 weeks in office, he managed to dismantle a government organization that was in charge of taking away or seizing the funds that were enriching the Marcos family. So, yeah, if things go wrong on presidential elections, they go very, very wrong. Not just here in the Philippines, by the way. It also happened in Turkey, Argentina, Brazil, Russia. What else? India. There are so many democracies in this world where what could go wrong did go wrong. So please, America, if you have 2 very easy choices, go for Kamala Harris, because Vice President Kamala Harris is way, way better than former President Donald Trump. Like, let's be honest here. If your main issue about Vice President Harris is about immigration, or the war in Gaza, or the economy in the US, Donald Trump is way, way worse at that. And there are a lot of evidences and statements from him that make that very, very clear. So, America, please do not vote for Donald Trump. And I cannot stress this enough. This election, this very, very election, could be the difference between progress and non-progress. Either the country goes forwards or very, very backwards. So, if you live in so-called safe states, like let's say California, New York, Texas, Florida, those kind of states, still vote don't be complacent, okay? Do not be complacent about anything and everything when it comes to this election. Because when you did, you managed to elect Donald Trump back in 2016. We were complacent back in 2022, thinking, oh, maybe Bongbong Marcos couldn't win this presidency. A lot of people happened to support Lenny. What happened? Bongbong became president. So, complacency in presidential elections is not a thing that you should be doing, okay? America, please, for the sake of the world, because the entire world, and I cannot stress this enough, I do mean the entire world is watching this election unfold. So do not screw this up by any and all means necessary. Even if that kind of advice comes from, let's say, a 17-year-old who does not dress properly for the occasion with a very dark backdrop, and it's now, time to go home or something. So, yeah, just vote for Vice President Harris, okay? Because there are a plethora of reasons to vote for Vice President Harris. One, she's a better president than Trump. Second, she'd be the very first South Asian woman of color to be able to hold the office of the president in the United States. The very first. And that is incredibly historic, by the way. So, yeah. And also, by the way, I almost forgot to mention the House and Senate races and the down ballot races. Please go look up who's going to be in your ballot. I'm not going to be the one who's doing that, but I can recommend you a website for you to go. Vote.org is one. Yeah, vote.org. Go to vote.org, vote.org. It's very easy to type. And just look up who's going to be in your ballot, in your county, in your state, and in your congressional district, because it is a very massive election year. So, America, please do not make the same mistake again. Alright, that is it for now. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. Alright, goodbye.